we are firmly in the throw ideas at the wall and see what sticks phase of things. Like, we finally have the investor attention and the funding and the media attention to incentivize a ton of different founders to come into this space and try different ideas in different verticals. And there's so many different real world verticals, right? There's energy, there's wireless, there's compute.
No, I'll be honest, I never thought there would be a conference like this, the DePIN Summit, where, you have real, a real room of thirsty, hungry, motivated, engaged individuals talking about this topic. So it's come a long way since the beginning like that.
So Ben, great to have you here in person recording. Exciting news most recently is that CoinDesk launched a DePIN vertical. So tell us about what that means and why you and CoinDesk were so excited to start covering DePIN on that level.
Yeah, I mean, obviously DePIN is a hot area. There's a lot going on, and we felt that it was also quite different from some other parts of crypto. So we wanted to have a special section to cover it. We started with a lot of op-ed contributions. So these are, pieces written by people from the community about different aspects of DePIN.
Right.
And we're going to build it out, hopefully with a podcast, and also with some video stuff, and also with more traditional feature writing and coverage. So we're excited about it. And, CoinDesk is the leading publication in media, or we believe so. And so it's only right that we should cover DePIN properly with its own dedicated topic or topic section, because it's an important part of the industry, and it's different from stable coins or meme coins or something. So it needs its own dedicated section and coverage.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, super exciting on our end that DePIN's getting more coverage. How many other verticals would you say CoinDesk has? Are there 30 or are there 10? I'm trying to gauge how big of a deal is DePIN to CoinDesk?
Well, I think, this idea of the vertical, as I say, is to deal with a topic that deserves its own kind of topic section. So I don't think we would do this for, say, stable coins or for meme coins, because that's more of kind of mainstream crypto.
Okay.
What makes DePIN different is the kind of physical infrastructure aspect of it, the kind of way in which you have multiple disciplines or activities using this kind of basic idea of, tokenized, incentivized participation in these networks to produce a service. That feels quite different from, a meme coin or a stable coin. So that's why we're dedicating a section to it. We are going to have different verticals coming up. We're going to do an AI vertical as well, and a couple of others. But, they are special sections because these are special parts of the industry.
Yeah, I love to hear it. You've been a crypto journalist for years now. How is this cycle different from, previous cycles? Like, what sticks out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like an old man at this point. I've been in crypto for about 10 years, CoinDesk for 5 years, and there's been a lot of changes and ups and downs. I think what's different about this cycle is the kind of sense of we really need to prove that the stuff is useful and really can provide services for everyday people, or people in business at least. And I think DePIN is very much an example of that. It's not about it's necessarily speculation. It's not about some political objective or some kind of social objective, which a lot of other crypto projects have. It's about providing something that's actually useful, like data or a service like broadband or AI compute or whatever it is actually tangible and useful for people in their everyday lives. So I think that's kind of running across the whole space, that everyone's sick of the scams, sick of the rug pulls, sick of the scandals, and it's time to put up and shut up and
for sure
prove the worth. And I think DePIN is very much part of that kind of here's something you can actually use.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we talked about DePIN live in person also at your event on Thursday this week. So it was a salon, or kind of like an idea discussion dinner day. That was awesome. It was 20 or 30 people, great conversation. There was kind of 8 panelists, but then there was also 20, 30 person crowd that was engaged as well. So it wasn't kind of just a panel where the experts are preaching to the crowd and that's it. It was very well moderated, a lot of fun to be part of. So thank you for that. You have put together, that and some other salons, and then also working at CoinDesk. have done some of the programming for Consensus, which is one of the biggest, best crypto conferences out there. So what are the top, 2 or 3 most important things you're thinking about when planning an event that you'd maybe give as pieces of advice to someone who's like, I got to plan my first crypto event. What should I be thinking about?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, Consensus and the salons that I do are obviously very different. Consensus is very much about the kind of big tent of crypto. So we want all tribes represented there. Whereas the salons are more of a sort of intimate gathering where you can, people can have sort of high quality conversations. I think if you're looking to get to Consensus, be part of the programming at Consensus, it's useful to have original things to say, provocative things to say, and speak to the kind of future of the industry. I mean, I also run the opinion section, and it's kind of the same sort of idea. Like we want to surface opinions that are original and provocative, spicy.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people that will tell you that Bitcoin is a store of value and is, digital gold. But anyone who's been in space for a while will, has heard that a billion times, even though it's true and useful. We want to surface things that are new. So I think being on that kind of cutting edge and surfacing things that, are going to get people thinking, are going to be brain food, that's good to think about. And I think, often as a journalist, you're looking not to kind of cover something because it just happened. You're looking to take the conversation forward. And so if you're looking to present something to a media company like CoinDesk, it's important to have an angle, have something topical, something that's going to raise you above the other sort of rival projects in your particular area. So it's about that point of differentiation.
Yeah, no, good advice for anyone looking to, either publish something or get involved with events. When did you first hear about DePIN, and what were your first impressions of the term, of the industry, of the business model and the idea?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like many people, my first interaction with DePIN was with Helium. I knew a couple of the Union Square Ventures guys who invested in it. And I always thought it was kind of an interesting idea and very, I used to cover the sharing economy back in the day at Fast Company magazine. This seemed like kind of the sharing economy 2.0. It's kind of
I definitely think so.
Sharing. So I was kind of interested in that kind of continuum. But then, Helium had some scaling issues. They had some problems with the token. So a lot of people dismissed it. And it's really only in the last couple of years that I've honestly really paid attention to DePIN and thought it could be viable as an idea. And, I'll be honest, I never thought there would be a conference like this, the DePIN Summit, where, you have real, a real room of thirsty, hungry, motivated, engaged individuals talking about this topic. So it's come a long way since the beginning like that. So, hats off. And I guess kind of naming it DePIN helped give the industry or this activity kind of coherence for people. And I still have some issues with, what exactly is DePIN? What exactly is included in this category of DePIN? And I wonder whether the kind of the definition of the space will kind of evolve over time, because it seems like there's so many projects and they can't all be in this kind of DePIN thing. So, I mean, it's interesting as a journalist to work for something like CoinDesk, because you are interested in categorizations. It's like, we want to have a reporter covering a beat, or we want to have different sections of this website, and it's important to kind of categorize things. But if DePIN gets any bigger and more sort of expansive in terms of all the things it is, then, is DePIN going to become the whole of CoinDesk? And at that point, you have to kind of think of maybe new terms for it, but we'll see. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, I think the term will evolve over time. People have even talked about kind of like sub-segments of DePIN now, which I think is viable. From, I guess, like a DePIN industry insider perspective, like as someone who's seen DePIN grow, I think we want to be as inclusive as possible for as long as possible, make the space big, make the number of projects high, make the market cap of projects in the space high, and just really, especially this cycle, drive as much attention as we can to the sector, establish ourselves, and then, worry about defining very explicitly and maybe even excluding in the future. I mean, it's been great to see the growth, and I think we want to embrace that for as long as we can.
Yeah. What's your feeling, if I can put a question back to you?
Yeah.
I mean, about, because there will be more questions, I guess, going forward about like real revenue and real profitability. What is your sort of outlook about that? I mean, how many of these companies here at the summit are making money or will make money, do you think?
Yeah, I think we are firmly in the throw ideas at the wall and see what sticks phase of things. Like, we finally have the investor attention and the funding and the media attention to incentivize a ton of different founders to come into this space and try different ideas in different verticals. And there's so many different real world verticals, right? There's energy, there's wireless, there's compute.
Yeah.
There's a million things that are going on. So we're firmly in the throw things at the wall and see what sticks phase. And I think the more of that experimentation that we do, the closer we get to having a couple just absolute unicorn, elite, DePIN companies that are doing 8, 9, 10 figures of revenue. This cycle, I've definitely seen more progress on the revenue front. There's multiple DePINs I can think of just off the top of my head that are in the 7-figure ARR range, which I think is great. And some of them are extremely early stage, like Spexy is a drone mapping DePIN.
Yeah.
They're pre-TGE, and they already have more than $1 million of revenue from like paid contracts for mapping different areas of Canada. And they're pre-TGE, and they're paying out a percentage of that in, stable coins and Canadian dollars. And the supply side's working, the demand side's clearly working. They're just matching the two. And I think you put a token incentive on top of that, it just would explode. So really excited to just, for sure think we need to do more work on the revenue side, but I think all the ideas that are being thrown around will get us to a couple of projects that really just blow the doors off in terms of revenue growth.
Yeah, it's great to hear.
Yeah. Anything else from your end, or is that it?
No, we're just excited to build out our DePIN vertical.
Let's do it.
And I guess, anyone listening to this podcast, if you do have a provocative opinion, a perspective on the space, please get in touch with me at ben@coindesk.com, or you can hit me up on Telegram or reach out to Connor maybe. We really want to hear perspectives from the whole space and everything that's going on. So, it's an open invitation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. This has been great.
Thanks for listening to the Proof of Coverage podcast. We post new episodes Mondays and Wednesdays, interviewing the best DePIN and crypto founders out there. If you like this episode, follow us on Twitter @CoverageProved and all other platforms, including YouTube and Spotify, at Proof of Coverage Podcast. Thank you.